Du hörst Herzenssache, Projektgeflüster mit Madamfo Ghana, der Podcast, der dich nach Ghana mitnimmt. Christine und Bettina erzählen bewegende Geschichten, plaudern aus dem Nähkästchen und teilen persönliche Erfahrungen. Komm mit auf diese besondere Reise. Los geht's!
Herzlich willkommen zu Herzenssache, dem Podcast von Madamfo Ghana. Heute habe ich einen ganz besonderen Gast, der noch nie zu Gast war bei uns. Das ist unser Deputy Country Director, Sandy. Ihr kennt ihn von Videos und Bildern. Er ist meistens derjenige, der auch unsere Projekte einweiht. Und heute habe ich endlich mal die Chance, ihn zu interviewen. Dieses Interview wird auf Englisch sein, klar, damit er sich ausdrücken kann. Und wenn ihr das gerne in Deutsch haben möchtet, beziehungsweise deutschen Untertitel, gebe ich euch den Tipp, geht auf unseren YouTube-Kanal von Madamfo Ghana oder auf Apple Podcasts gibt es diesen Podcast, falls ihr ihn gerade hört, auch als Videocast. Kann ich euch sehr empfehlen, dann könnt ihr uns bei der Unterhaltung zuschauen. Und da haben wir dann deutschen Untertitel, sodass ihr unser breites ghanaisches Englisch vielleicht auch besser versteht. Director Sandy, you are welcome to Madamfo Ghana podcast. It's a pleasure to have you here. It's the first time you are my guest. So today I want to use this opportunity that because of the projects we were all at the same place, I want to introduce you more to our audience. You know, they know you from all the pictures. They've seen the inaugurations. You are a lot of times involved in the sword cutting. He goes round for the monitoring and is literally everywhere, dividing himself with our country director, Victor, to see about the projects and, being the leader. But apart from the projects, you know, people always want to know a bit more about us. You know, for us, we know each other for a long time, but people don't know you so much. They see you on the reports and on your, let's say, on your business side, but they want to get to know you a bit more because they all know our work, there is more to it. If you don't have the passion and the will, you will not engage into NGO work. You know, there's a lot more behind than you see on the pictures. Let's go maybe back and start. Where are you from? You know, we have Ghana, the many regions. Let us know, where are you from? Where are you born?
I'm from Volta Region.
Yeah.
But I was born in Nigeria. That's why I'm having the name Sunday.
Okay. So this is nice. Sorry to interrupt you. Explain to them. So what is your name? Your name is Sunday Enoch Atikpoe, right?
Yes, please.
So explain us your name. That is a nice place to start.
Yes, my name is Enoch Sunday Atikpoe. The Enoch means dedicated one, and then the Sunday means as usual as day born. That is in Nigeria. But when it comes to Ghana, it's called Akwesi. And Atikpoe is a family name that is bear by a lot of people in Ghana from the Volta region. That is specifically Anglo, and that is Anyaku. That is where the name is originated from.
Okay. So the Sunday is the English version, how in Ghana we are giving names by day.
Yes.
Right? So in Nigeria, they are using like the English.
Yes.
Is there also in Nigeria, we have a lot of languages. So I don't know, they have Hausa, Yoruba. Is there a way of putting it, the Sunday, as you say, in Ghana is Akwesi?
Yes.
Like me, I'm Afia. I'm Friday born. So it's the female version is Afia and the male form is Kofi. Like you all know Kofi Annan. He's the most famous Friday born of Ghana. So in Nigeria, the Sunday, is there a local translated from the English?
To be frank with you, for that one, because I didn't grew up there.
Okay. Okay. So in case anybody hears us and is aware, send me an email and let us know. So for now, for us, we call him Sunday. And you guys are lucky that we are doing this interview seated because our Sunday is like this. I literally, when he stands, I'm here. He's very tall and strong. And I think that is why also he's a leader at our organization. He's a firm man standing in the ground. So you're born in Nigeria. Which age did you come to Ghana?
When I was about 2 years.
Okay.
They brought us back to Ghana.
Do you have any memory about that early childhood?
Yes, we grew up here in Ghana, as I said.
No, I mean in Nigeria, the Nigeria side. No.
Yes, no, only few, just because I was 2 years.
Too young, yeah. So your parents are Ghanaians?
Yes, they're typical Ghanaian.
Okay, so why did they migrate to Nigeria? Was it for work purpose or?
Yes, for work purpose. They went and worked because, a time came where in Ghana, most of people moved to Nigeria to seek for greener pastures.
Yeah.
That is where they also went and gave birth to me.
Okay, Nigeria, okay. Yeah, sure. It's still part of the world that people, of course, they all look for making a better living, and there was a time that this frequent exchange between, I think, Ghana and Nigeria was very vital, It's still there, but by that time it was, I think, very vital. So they came back and they come from Volta Region. This is so like they settled back.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. What are your parents? What is their profession?
My father is a professional painter.
Painter, okay,
Yes.
I see.
And my mother was a trader.
Trader,
Yes.
okay. Are they still alive?
My father is late.
Okay.
And my mother is still alive.
Is still alive. So you are in frequent contact with her, or because we are occupying you so much, it's difficult.
Once a while, we do talk.
Okay, Mother's Day is coming soon, so you bear that one in mind. So you grew up in which part of Volta Region?
That is, my mother came from Peki.
Okay.
That's where I grew, and later I went to my father's hometown, that's Anyako, in Keta district.
Okay, so this is like, let's say southern Volta, not the north, because Keta, that is like coastal, going to the coast.
Yes.
Is this where you grew up and schooled as well?
Yes, but later they also moved back to Accra.
Okay.
So eventually I can say we grew up in Accra.
Okay.
Most of the years were spent in Accra, and I schooled in Accra.
Okay. Yeah. So how far were your parents able to support you in schooling? Because in our podcast, always we also talk about the challenges and how difficult it is in Ghana to get a formal education because of the financial problems people are having. So how was that for you as a child?
Yes, my parents were doing their best to educate me and some of my siblings. So at a point in time, financial difficulty sets in. So they have to fall on our organization to support my education. So that is where they came in and supported me through my university education.
Okay. So you were able to go all the way to university, right? Yes. How many siblings do you have?
7 siblings.
7. So you are 8 in all. So can you imagine my German family and friends, 8 children, and then being responsible for the education and all of that. But for us here, sometimes people criticize that huge amount of children. But what you have to bear in mind, the children here are the life insurance. There is no social security system that when I grow old, not I as a person, Bettina, like when a person grows old, that there will be a system where you can falling on your children and your family members, because that extended family and family system, it is what making people survive over here. All your siblings are alive?
Yeah, they are alive.
Okay, thank God. That is so good. So you said all the way to university, but I'm particularly interested, and we had Director V also telling us his story. So your primary school years, what is your memory about that? For instance, like how did a day look like? An ordinary day when you were 6, 7, 8. How was your day?
Yes, every day as usual. If you're in Ghana, I schooled most of the years in Accra. Mm-hmm. So, but my school is a bit far from where we live with my parents. So we have to walk get close to 1 hour before we have access to the school. Because, the school, they have a lot of schools, but the one that my parents can afford, that's where they took me to, which is, it's a bit distant from where our home is.
So at the age of 6 you walked an hour to the school and an hour back.
Exactly.
Yeah. So this is like something really, guys, that's a life story to listen to, which for us, I think we can't even imagine at that age. It's not you'll be driven by a car and dropped off at school and picked up, so you walk.
Yeah, so when it closed. Those days, with the school were into two. They have morning section and afternoon session.
Okay.
And so because there were a huge number of people, so every 2 weeks, maybe I'll go for 2 weeks in the morning, and the next 2 weeks I have to go in the afternoon, goes around 5 and come back. So that is how some of the school at that time were.
And I'm sure are you the oldest son?
Yes, please.
So that one means in Ghana, different responsibilities for the family as well. So apart from your schooling, did you enjoy school? Did you like school?
Initially, I was not enjoying school, but later on, when somebody told me, education is good, so I should force and go to school. So I was being encouraged by my parents, some colleagues, and other people in the community to force to go to school, so that one day I can be a better person in the future.
Yeah, I know that my son is turning 12 this year, and some say, I'm not interested in going to school. It's very normal. Some children, because of the environment where they are in, they don't like, it's not like they don't like knowledge. No, children, they are like swamp. They will just digest anything you teach them, but because of the environment and, walking an hour and coming back, you're also tired. So apart from the school and your responsibilities in the school, in the house, I'm very sure you didn't come home and then you went to your room, put the TV on and lay your feet up. You had responsibilities. So how was the rest of the day in the house?
Yeah, and those that we were not having TV in our home. So when you come back as an elderly person, you have to assist your mom to prepare dinner for the rest. Because we're 8, sometimes I'm the elderly one. I have to carry the young one who are crying at my back so that or I make them sleep. So my mother can have time to do other works at home.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of responsibility placed on when I come back from school.
Yeah.
As you said, I don't have TV. We don't have TV. As I said earlier, we don't have watch TV. We don't go and play because we are a lot of children in the house. So I have my mother. I'll do errand, go and buy me this. I have to go and come back. That's how the daily lives are every day.
So it's like at the same. You are still a child. 1, you were still young.
Yes.
2. You are also schooling. You have to do your homework and your studies in order to progress. And 3, you already been placed responsibility for the household. This is a lot of weight for somebody who is young, but because of the support for each other, this is how it was. So when you were able to access higher education, like senior high school, was there a specific one you were chosen? Some are, I think, technical,
yes.
Some are more into science. So when you started growing, what was your passion?
Yes,
or where were you passionate about?
Yes, I wanted to go into technical.
Yeah.
So I went to a senior high technical school to do woodwork. That's where I was taught woodwork, how to use wood to do a lot of things, door, chairs, roofing. That's where my secondary school level, that's what I learned at school. And then later on, developing interest, see how people, I wish that one day I can be of help to people. And then I went to a school where calling to do a pastoral work, to have a passion for people, because looking at where I grew up from, there was no help. And so one day I wish that one day God will help me to help people. So it was fortunate for me to join Madamfo Ghana to help people.
Yes, we both believe, you and I, we don't believe in coincidence. We know there's a plan laid out. So from the technical, going to the pastoral, and can we call it religious studies? So
yes.
where did you further that education? Was it a university or a school or?
Yes, from secondary school, I went to it's called Paris University College.
Okay.
Where we did biblical studies and a lot of religion, studying religions together, and part of secular studies as well to attach to the religion.
Yeah. So it's like as a young man in Ghana too, as a man, you have a certain role to play in society. And as you were saying, you started to get the wish or it was at your heart that you wanted to help people. After the college, where still having in mind, still there was a huge family in the house, you know, were you able to seek for employment, or how did after the finishing the university, how was your road then?
After the university, I went to did the national service. Where I was posted to a school where I did my thoughts in the school during that year period. After that, I tried to seek for job opportunity in teaching. Once teaching, I taught small for about some years, and then I stopped and looking for a better opportunity ahead. So, as usual, constantly, as you said, not coinciding, but I just met with Madamfo Ghana Foundation. That is where everything started from.
So looking at your way, I mean, you were fortunate that your parents too had the passion for the education, you know, because that opened some doors for you. Now we have come to the part of your life you were, let's say, getting aware of us. Can you remember who was it? I'm sure it was maybe Ima or Victor. Who was the first person like you met, like the first time? By then, was it even already Madamfo Ghana, or was it just my initiative, like with Ima, to help people? Bring us back to that time. How did you come across us? Let me put it that way.
Yeah, I think initially it was your initial initiative to help your people, our people in Ghana. So I knew the late Director Ima, and then Mr. Victor, with the CEO currently. So I knew them all were like a family.
Part of a group, yeah. So you knew each other.
So after that, when Madamfo Ghana came into place, I was looking for opportunity, and then they gave me the opportunity. I should come and help in the organization. That is why I got to know Madamfo Ghana Foundation.
So where was your first, what was your first assignment, or the first place you went, with them? I must just explain to you, the development of Madamfo, it wasn't an organization we snapped, we found it, and everything was in place. We are constantly growing. We are still growing. Like we've told you about in the other podcasts, you heard that how we develop projects through ideas and new collaborations. Our road is never straight. It's not like we are planning, we are doing, we are adapting always to resources available, people available, and then where we can have the best impact with where we want to help the people. So at the beginning, I was not, stable in Ghana. I was flying between Germany and Ghana back and forth till after 10 years or so, I completely settled here. This is also when the project against child trafficking came into play, because when we started rescuing trafficked children, that is nothing you can do voluntary in your free time. This needs your full attention. So the time he's now explaining, I wasn't always around. So part of his journey, I wasn't. Now we communicate a lot because of we are always all together. But by that time, I might have been in Germany. He's also going. So that time when we were not established like now, where was the first place from Accra? Do you remember where you went?
In the first place, as I said earlier, my father was a painter.
Yeah.
So during vacation, we followed him to paint. So I learned also
the painting work. Mm-hmm.
So I remember I went to Dunkra, one of the Akinagati that you built, and then so I was asked to paint it. And that is where.
That's at the lakeside, huh?
Lakeside, yes.
So Dunkra is when you go to the map, go to the middle, somehow southern middle of Ghana, you find the Lake Bosontri. And on the southern shore is my hometown, Apeu, and one of the neighbor villages, that is Dunkra. That's what you are talking about, right?
Yes.
Or am I wrong? Is it at the top?
It's at the top.
So I'm talking about the Tiaso. Okay, so now, anybody who has followed the map, I've confused you. The neighbor town of Apeu is the Tiaso, and you're talking about Dunkra. So when you're at Apeu, you have to climb the mountain and go on top, and then you are at Montu.
Yeah.
And from Montu, you go to Dunkra, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, all right. So that is where you had like a proper assignment. So who was there when you came? Was it Director V or Director Ima?
It was Director Victor who was at that time supporting the project at that time. So after my service, looking for opportunity, thought it was a while, and then came back to Mana. He invited me to come and paint. That is where I came to Madamfo Ghana fully.
Okay, so describe a bit the next years. Now you are our deputy country director. So from just painting, it looks like you've climbed a ladder, and I'm sure it was your knowledge and your skills and also your character that helped you to, achieve more than just being a painter, which is nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with being a painter at all. But you've climbed the ladder. So maybe explain a bit your road within Madamfo Ghana and your assignments. And then our late director passed away, and that made a way for you to also elevate yourself.
Yeah, because I was in the village painting, I had the university education. I remember one day you asked me you came to Ghana, and then you came to the village, and then you have to drive back to Accra. So you asked me to escort you to accompany you to Accra. So during our talking, and then you got to know that I have the education background from the university.
Were we using a bus?
No, we were having the pickup. No, yes, I'm this time.
Okay. Yeah. It's true. This is 25 years of my life, and I've done so much. So sometimes you're also bringing me back to olden days. Okay.
And so we in the car, we chat and say, you have this background. So why can't I come to the office to assist in the office?
Yeah.
So you spoke with Director Victor, and then he asked me to come to our office in Kumasi to be an office assistant. So that's where I started from. And gradually, and when a time came that our late director, Ima, passed away, was a CEO, was the deputy, and then he became a substance CEO, and then by God's grace and the opportunity, and God saw what I was doing.
I remember that very well.
To come, and then you elevated me, you and CEO, elevated me to come the deputy campaign director of Madamfo Ghana Foundation. So it was a long journey, not a one day thing. So because you also saw how dedicated I was, how committed I was, looking at the total character, because it's an NGO work, you have to get somebody who is committed, who is dedicated, who is committed to the mandate of the organization.
Yeah. So Sunday for me is somebody who is, when we are together, you give me always a lot of, if I can say, spiritual encouragement, because I think you and I, we believe in the same things. At the same time, we know each other for a long time. And one thing, through your explanations about your life and all of that and how your life went, something I personally believe in is that anybody can develop skills they may not know they even have. I personally don't believe in papers. Like, I don't believe because you have a bachelor degree, you are having a master degree, you are a doctor this, a PhD that. That definitely shows some skills that you have acquired at the university, to acquire certain certificates or degrees. You'll be able to study in a formal way. You have a way of maybe accessing and digesting information. But that is not what our work is about. When you look at my background and what I do now, I'm a mason, I'm a carpenter, I'm a bamboo engineer, I'm still a nurse. Like, I've become a doctor, without diminishing or downgrading people who have achieved that in the degree sector. They definitely have their purpose and their way of doing things. But for us, when I look at the people that surround me, if you would just wanted to look at degrees, we all wouldn't be together. When I look at Happy, our director in the children's shelter, listen to her podcast episode. She was just a very young lady by that time, early 20s. Of course, she had finished her formal education. She studied social science, but it takes more to do what we do.
Yes.
If you want to, work in our greenhouses, it's nice that you have a background in agriculture or farming. But like we always say, there's more to it. How to handle the people and the day-to-day challenges. How flexible are you? You are the manager of the greenhouse and there's no water. There's no water. What are you coming to do? If you are not having other skills, you are very mobile in your brain. You are flexible. You have intuition, and you have skills of bringing people together who may come from totally different backgrounds. You cannot do what we are doing.
Exactly.
And I think this is something that you have just shared about your life, that your road wasn't straight. It went right and left and back and forth with, I'm sure, a lot of obstacles, which we haven't even talked about, And still we are here. Still you are here today. And we are trying our best to make this world a better place, isn't it? So this is something that's very inspiring. And I hope everybody who listens to Sunday's story, and maybe is in the same position. Maybe you are listening from Ghana or you're listening from Uganda and you are like, wow, I have so many siblings. I have to take care of my family. We know that Africa, I always say, I think I said it in the last episode, Africa is not a country, it's a continent. Yeah, it has like more than 50 plus countries, every country with their own visions, traditions, and future aspirations. So when you are listening from wherever you are listening, or from India, or from America, or from Germany, this is a sample. Sunday is a sample that when you have passion and I think you believe in what you can do, right?
Yes.
You can do it. You can always do it. And you have to have a certain resistance to obstacles, isn't it? So looking at all you have achieved so far and looking at the life, you are now a father, you are a husband, you have a wife, you have children. Looking at what Madamfo Ghana is doing and the impact we are as a team, Director Victor, yourself and myself as a management board, you and your passion. I know Director Victor's passion is for maternity. He always says that. You personally, feel free. Where is your passion? Where and what do you want to share with our listeners? Where do you want, from your perspective, where do you want Madamfo to go? Let's say in the next 5 to 10 years. Share your dreams with us.
Yes, Madamfo Ghana, so far as we are impacting a lot of lives, and we are still doing it. Personally, I wish that when you go around the country, you can see we are doing well. A lot of children are struggling to have access to education and to have a potable drinking water. I wish that these little ones will have a place where they can there is no travel a long distance to have access to education. A school can get closer to them. They can have access to potable drinking water with just making a step. So I wish that this Madamfo Ghana will be able to help these little ones in these typical rural communities. And our mothers who as health is very important to have good health, and so that they can take care, because in Africa or Ghana like this, most parents have given birth to a number of children that are unable to take care of, or they have no proper meal. So I wish Madamfo Ghana Foundation will go further. Once we are all doing that, we can spread more and help this expand our tentacle to those in a typical remote areas, so that at least they can have a future as we are having today.
Yeah. You can, when I hear you talking, I can really hear the passion. And something that I think we are really good at is adapting. You know, we are adapting. We have so many obstacles. The past weeks, Sunday has done a lot of research into this bamboo. You know, we have introduced to that project as well. And the hardships sometimes you have to overcome in order to move forward. I think this is something I'm not sure with any podcast in this world or any film, we can transport this to you. I think unless you come and you sweat with us, you will not be able to have that opportunity. But we can assure you any little support you are giving to us. Director Victor, who is not here with us today, Director Sunday, myself, and all our valued team in the office, the people that are working with you that you can't see here today. We appreciate them so much, and we appreciate you a lot for supporting us and making lives better. Sunday is just one sample. I have become a better person through Madamfo, at least I hope so. And Director Victor, I'm sure he will agree to that. Sunday, I want to thank you so much because sharing your personal insights, you know, it is always such a pleasure. And for people to know us better, you know, we are not any anonymous organization that is out there where you can't reach the people who are spending the money. You are here. He's the one using your donations through our plans, for instance, for the school feeding to build schools. We are the ones there at the field and giving you this opportunity to also hear what we have to say. I think it's a mutual benefit to you and to us as well. Sunday, thank you very much. I want to give you the opportunity to have the last word.
Okay. Thank you for the opportunity given to me. As we said, we still on the ground helping the people. So anybody hearing us, we are still appealing to you to come to the aid of Madamfo Ghana Foundation so that we can go down to help these ones, the vulnerable people, vulnerable communities around. So we are, our doors are open as usual. We appreciate your support all these years. We are always asking for more, as Beatrice always says. So we ask for more so that we can still help our people and down in the villages.
Thank you very much. So, as usually, my appeal is subscribe, like, and share anything you get from us, the posts, and anything we share on social media. Visit our website. If you have a passion for something certain, for water, education, health, for our bamboo project or for the project Grow Ghana or our project Madamfo Goes Green and Clean, our project to avoid any single-use plastic, reach out to us. Like Sunday said, write an email, send a message. When you have questions, we are always there for you through the email, or you reach out to the office. In Germany, you reach our beautiful Tanya, who is there, our backbone. She will be able to get you the necessary information you are looking for. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you so much for being my guest Sunday, and we wish you a good day. Bye.